Wife wants me to share, but I'm not comfortable sharing. My 42 meters wife 44F has recently been upset that I've been depressed and she feels like I've disconnected from her. I can't say that is entirely untrue, but she has been pushing me to explain what is wrong, and I don't think I can. I feel like doing so will either end in an argument or my feelings being invalid. When I bring up issues, I usually feel invalidated. I'm too sensitive, my feelings are not on her, I'm making her feel like all her efforts are for nothing, I'm ruining her good mood, I'm piling it on when she's in a bad mood, she doesn't have enough spoons, I'm making her seem like the bad guy, I need to be able to rely on others and I need to be able to self-soothe rather than relying on her, and basically anything else to make it sound like me bringing it up is the problem. Then she's mad at me and we end up in an argument. Even when in couples therapy, she's fine during the session, but if I say anything that upsets me, we end up arguing all night at the least. My main issue at this point is that I am hurting, and I feel like I had to beg to be a priority to her. She regularly ignores me at parties and goes off to flirt with other people. I wouldn't mind the flirting if I felt like she was ultimately choosing me. But she wasn't. I felt like the only time she ever paid attention to me was when nobody else would flirt with her. Then she started having feelings for another guy, and instead of doing what we agreed upon and distancing herself, she ignored me for him at a party. Then, once I told her I knew, she admitted it and started trying to convince me to be polyamorous. She even tried to get a new couples therapist who would try to convince me to agree to polyamory for her. Finally, I told her that monogamy is my boundary and that if she needs poly, then she would need to do that without me, and continuing to discuss it would jeopardize our relationship. I told her I won't wait for her to choose, and I won't play these games. She chose me, said she realizes that poly would be a disaster for us, and has spent effort on trying to make me feel special, like actually paying attention to me when we go out to parties. But I feel like I had to force it and like it actually bores her when we do, so it doesn't make anything better. She's also been acting depressed since then and claims it is for other reasons. I'm not sure I buy that. I feel like if I had to ask for her to pay attention to me, it's just not worth much. I also spend a lot of time wondering if her request for poly was really about her trying to test the waters and see if things would work out with this guy before making an ultimate decision about who to be with. But poly gives her this cover to do so without any risk, so that she can either later decide to be with me or with him. I say this because poly was entirely focused on interest in this one guy and she would not discuss starting with people we don't know yet. I can't shake this feeling and I'm just feeling constantly hurt. But if I tell her this, the response will be, well, what's the point of trying? It's all hopeless. You won't give me a chance. And then we'll end up in an argument or I'll have to deal with calming her panic attacks. 3. She used to be adventurous in bed, but lately she has no interest in anything but boring straight sex, and that is on the rare occasion that she wants sex. Yes, she recently started a job, and our lives are crazy, but even she is bored by the sex, but won't choose to let me do anything other than make out, be obs, and penetration. It's boring for me, boring for her, and we end up not wanting as much because of it. But she gets upset if I mention it and says I am pressuring her. So instead, we just do a once a week make out and sex. There are plenty of other problems in my life, and other reasons I feel depressed, but when she asks me how she can support me, and I tell her it's fine and I'll deal with it on my own. This bothers her and she tells me that it makes her feel like an awful wife. I feel like I can't respond to that because it will only end with an argument or invalidation or a panic attack I have to respond to. For her side, she said I was not giving her enough attention at home. I responded to that and she said I was doing that for quite a while. But it was hard for me, given what was going on in my mind. She says it tapered off in the past week or two and that concerns her that it is unsustainable. I don't think it is unsustainable, but I do feel like I've got too much built up and I don't know how to let it out, and maybe that is all this is. I can tell you I'm not getting divorced, and the most I'll do is lay down my boundaries and let her choose from there. I'd like to figure out how to make this work and how to get past these issues. I need people to recognize that this is me venting about all the hard stuff and I didn't share all the good stuff we have been through, how she stood by me through some hard times in the past, like custody battles, how she is an amazing stepmother and mother, how she is overall a kind person who tends to have an issue with needing attention but is so unbelievably kind to everyone around her, how she has quit drinking for me, how she takes care of me when I'm sick, how we were best friends for years before I ever got involved with her, how she can make me feel alive when things are good and on and on. Please understand that before responding. Update: Wife's actions felt inappropriate, but she says she just asked to learn self-defense. My wife 44F and I 42 meters go to a bar regularly that is a bit of a rougher place, but has karaoke and the people are friendly overall. Last night, one of the regulars was a little more friendly to us than normal. I chalked it up to a good mood, but my wife told me about half an hour into the night that he had come over to her several times already to tell her how beautiful she is. My view on this is that I wasn't worried and I'm not going to start anything because I trust my wife, and getting compliments could only make her feel good. So I let it be. An hour later my wife tells me that she wants to duet a song with me and asked me to listen to it on my phone, so I was doing that. I looked up and I see her standing very close to him and it seemed to me like she was flirting with him. She whispers in his ear, he says something to her, and he starts walking outside and she follows. Obviously, this concerns me, so I give it a second and then head outside too. He is standing near a wall and she is standing close to him laughing. She says, "Are you sure?" He says go ahead, and she punches him in the stomach 3 times. She tells me that she asked him to teach her some self-defense. I don't want to act jealous, so I say okay and stand there for a bit. She punches him several more times, I feel awkward and head inside. I came out several more times and it seemed like they were just talking. She told me later that he was a high school wrestler, and he's been in fights, to which I reminded her that I was the captain of my school wrestling team and took several years of martial arts. She said that I never taught her and I said that she never asked. I left it there and moved on. She actually got very clingy to me after that and we ended up having time when we got home. But I can't shake this uncomfortable feeling about it all. It's concerning partially for the obvious reasons, that it felt inappropriate. I wonder what her reaction would have been if I had entered a similar situation. But it's also concerning because this is a rough place, and her asking another guy to teach her how to punch implies that either I don't have the ability to defend myself or that she is asking this guy to do this to get closer to him. Don't get me wrong, I can defend myself, but I'm a firm believer in avoiding a fight if possible. I'm afraid this type of implication, especially towards a guy comfortable hitting on my wife, could lead to a certain amount of aggression I'd prefer to avoid. What I'm trying to figure out is several things. 1. How should I proceed with this situation? 2. What should I even say if I talk to her? 3. How do I approach this next weekend at the bar? First edit, I would really appreciate some input from women on this one as well. I don't know if there is a perspective I'm missing. Second edit, update, I talked with my wife just now, she had to leave to pick up her son. I explained just the fact of it. She actually said she didn't even connect the two, but it's frighteningly obvious now when she hears it. She said she feels stupid and apologized profusely. She promised to pay more attention to it. She said she wants to go back to make it clear especially to him that she isn't interested and is only interested in me. I'm glad I talked to her. I hope she is able to be more intentional in the future. Thank you everyone for your input. It helped me organize my thoughts and put it in a clear way that was fact-based and not emotionally charged. Clarification, she does not want to go back to talk to this guy. She wants to go back and stand by me and be loving towards me. But the reason we both want to go back is because we myself too have made friends there and we don't want to lose that over a single incident. Redditor's reactions story 2 after. Redditor 1, going out privately with a man who was hitting on her was inappropriate, felt disrespectful to you. Did it feel, with their song, that she was flirting with him? You need to talk about your feelings and your boundaries. If you're sure they didn't see you, it does at least seem like they weren't hooking up. Op answer, I'm sorry for the confusion. She did not sing a song with him. She asked me to listen to a song to do with her. While I was listening, she started talking with him and quickly went outside with him. And they did see me. Redditor 2, yeah man, I'll be honest, that would all make me very uncomfortable as well. I wasn't there and I don't know other people's intentions, but all that would make me extremely uncomfortable for sure. If the shoe was on the other foot it would make her uncomfortable too. Op answer, thank you. I tried really hard to stick to the facts, rather than what it felt like to me. Redditor 3, she was flirting with him. She has access to homemade self-defense advice in you. This excuse is so poor it beggars belief. She set you a distracting task then rushed out to chat with him where there was a lot of playful contact. I think it is a well-known fact this type of contact, even playful taps as a response to banter, is an indicator of attraction. As to how you proceed, what would you advise your best friend who suspected inappropriate behavior from his partner? I will say one thing though, if you do nothing this will only embolden this behavior. Set firm boundaries. Op answer, but I do agree with you. I wanted to make sure that my assessment of the situation was correct. It helps to hear because facts are facts. She said he was hitting on her. She still asked him to teach her something that involved heavy contact in a private situation while I was right there. Those are facts. The rest can be an opinion. Story 2, girlfriend cheats with stepbrother. I ruin her life. Short backstory, I work for a company where I travel a lot with my stepbrother, and a few months ago I convinced my girlfriend to hop on with us. We have a long chain of command, but I am their direct boss. This job also drug tests. The main story, my girlfriend joined up with us and was able to complete 2 jobs, each job site being 3 months long with us. I noticed something off with her halfway through the first job. She was constantly going over to my stepbrother's hotel room to smoke Ed with him. I don't do that, so she couldn't smoke with me. After the completion of the first job, I knew something was definitely going on and confronted her about it. She brushed it off as me being jealous. A few days ago she was efforts to tell the truth or her best friend would tell me. She had been cheating on me with multiple different guys at each job site, one of them being my stepbrother. The revenge, as soon as I heard this I began seeing red. I instantly started plotting my revenge. I called up my boss and told them that my ex-girlfriend and my stepbro lied on their drug test. They were retested and failed. Both of them lost their jobs. Next I left an anonymous tip to the police about their less than legal habits. Lone Star State carries a heavy penalty fine for this stuff. They got busted and charged with a misdemeanor. Now for the finale. I informed her family of her actions and they completely shut her out. They like me more. Now they are both thousands of miles from home, with no job, no money, she can't afford the payments on her brand new car, a criminal charge, and she has nowhere to go home to. Edit, thanks for all the love on my first post. If y'all want, I have another story somewhat like this dealing with my first ex. Would y'all like me to post that? Redditor's reaction. Story 3 after. Redditor 1, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Karma is a fickle BTCH. Redditor 2, how does someone lie on a drug test? Op answer, lied or cheated, however you want to word it, but there are places that sell PSS, be it real or fake, in order for people to pass a drug screen. Redditor 3, I assumed from the title that she cheated with her own stepbrother. I watched too much PRN. Op answer, it's all good man, sorry for the misleading title, but your comment did make me laugh. Redditor 4, I love witnessing karma do its job and this made me smile a bit. Redditor 5, what the hell kind of company just lets romantic partners be in the same command hierarchy, let alone direct subordinates bosses? Op answer, apparently the company I work for now. It's widespread throughout this company, but it can't really be helped because we are in desperate need of people, and this job has us traveling for a good portion of the year, and that's if you're lucky. I haven't been home in over 20 months. Redditor 6, was there any fallout with your family over it? I mean, obviously you and stepbrother are not super close, but what about your parent step-parent? Obviously you got their spouse's child fired. Were they pissed at you? Or was it kinda like, well, that's what you get? Op answer, no, the story is my mom and my stepdad both work for the same company. They both hold the same position as me, just in different parts of the country. When they found out about it, they both agreed I was in the right. Even his own father was pissed at him for what he did. Story 3, my ex left me for someone who trash-talked me and introduced her to C. Kane. She started lying, cheating and group sex during the relationship. First she was seeing friends, then she wanted a break. She lives now at this guy's house. Her family is far away. I don't mind getting broken up and being left, and I know it's her choice to live her life, but how can you convince someone they are being used without them realizing it because they are so addicted? I'm actually worried about her well-being cause I still care. I've been doing no contact, but it's hard for me to stop caring. I really want her to get the treatment she needs, and at the same time I'm trying my best not to care. I know it's pointless talking to someone who will lie and deny everything, especially if it feels so good. She is somewhere just exploring herself, I guess, and I respect that, but it's still tearing me apart seeing someone who was close to me destroying themselves. I'm fighting daily depressive suicidal thoughts cause I blame myself. I know I won't do anything. I just feel this is a safe place to vent the most absurd thing. This happened to me 5 years ago in a similar relationship with someone who had BPD. Back then it changed me, since I didn't know what gaslighting was, and the person in the whole C. Kane friend circle tried to do anything to make me go crazy. I was at a very dark place, and after the relationship I tried to self-destroy myself too, cause I hated the monster I became by surviving the most toxic environment I've ever been in, until I became somehow more normal and found back to me, and this current ex helped me become more by myself. I relearned feeling lost emotions and crying again, and now, Partly of my ignorance, this is happening to me again. She also started gaslighting me cause she doesn't want to lose me and at the same time not admit anything. I know I have to distance myself, but I wish something or someone would just happen and help her out of the misery. Those people lack self-awareness since she relied on me and felt betrayed. That I talked bad behind her back to my friend and she used it impulsive to cheat on me and do drugs. I might think she might have undiagnosed BPD too. I feel guilty for not taking proper responsibility despite the fact I got replaced XD. She might be now in a better company, cause she is not lonely every day, but it doesn't stop her from doing cocaine every weekend at least. I've never done coke and never will, so I just want to understand from at least 2 months use and a steady work life 5 times a week approx 8 hours a day, how it will look from now on in the eyes of the consumer. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, it's not your fault. The best thing you can do is cut all contact. Addicts will manipulate you for their own advantage. Don't fall into that trap. She's an adult, responsible for her own life. Op answer, thanks, it means a lot reading those words. I know it's a trap, but it still makes me feel bad for neglecting someone who can't take care of themselves. At the same time, like you said, she's an adult and aware of her choices. Redditor 3, you may feel compelled to do so out of genuine love and concern, but do not try to rescue her. She's shown you who she is now. She's made a hard and hopeless choice, but it's her own. I made the mistake of naively going in for the rescue. It backfired in spectacular fashion. You can read my posts. Redditor 4, if you're worried about her, probably share your concerns with her family and then cut all contact. Once you've passed that burden on to someone else, then you can focus on yourself and it's up to them and her as to what to do. Op answer, she is visiting her family soon, so I'm waiting actually till she visits her family first. At the same time, I'd get this morally right? It's her right to ruin her life and her family not to know. Also, she might interpret it as me trying to ruin her life, despite trying to help.